Hi, I'm Sandy Walter, and this video is about Sukkot from the perspective of a Jewish gardener. You'll find some information about the 4 species of Sukkot and the 7 species of Israel. So let's get started. 4 species of Sukkot are certainly the most distinguished items in the Sukkah. The Torah commands us in the book of Leviticus, "And you shall take you on the first day the fruit of goodly trees, branches of palm trees, boughs of thick trees, and willows of the brook, and ye shall rejoice for the Lord your God for 7 days." Each of the species or its leaves is similar in shape to the following human organs. The lulav is the spine, a ripe green closed palm frond. Hadass is the eye. It's a bough with leaves from the myrtle tree. Arava is the mouth, a branch with leaves from a willow tree. And etrog is the heart of the fruit of the citron tree. The etrog originates from East India and South China. In fact, it's one of 3 early ancestors of the citrus trees we know today. All of the other fruits were created through crossbreeding of these 3 species. I've been growing an orange and a lime tree on my deck, and they're happy outside until the nighttime temperatures dip below 50 degrees at some point in early November, and then they come inside until April. After the sukkah comes down, I dry the etrog and have a collection of them. Even dry, they are fragrant. Some folks make an etrog candy, and some may make a liquor similar to limoncello. The 7 species are the agricultural products, 2 grains and 5 fruits, which are mentioned in the Bible as products of Israel. The 7 species are wheat, barley, grapes, figs, pomegranates, olives, and dates. Their first fruits were the only acceptable offerings in the Holy Temple. The 7 species have played an important role in the food developed in Israel and in our religious traditions. Many references to these basic foods can be found in the Bible. The Mishnah states that only first fruits of the 7 species could be brought for offerings. Wheat fields, vineyards, and olive groves are still salient features of the Israeli landscape today. Figs, olives, pomegranates, and dates are common ingredients in Israeli cuisine. The ancient Israelites cultivated both wheat and barley. These 2 grains are mentioned first in the biblical list of 7 species. Celebration of the barley harvest is during the festival of Shavuot, and the celebration of the wheat harvest is during the festival of Sukkot. Grapes were used mainly for the production of wine, although they were also eaten fresh and dried. And let's not forget the brine-soaked grape leaves used in cooking today. Figs were cultivated throughout the land of Israel, and fresh or dried figs were part of the daily diet. A common way of preparing dried figs was to chop them up and press them into cake. Figs are frequently mentioned in the Bible. A fig tree is perfect for your landscape here in the DMV. The figs form in spring and are harvested in early August. The leaves are pretty on the table. The fig is the flower of this plant, and the sweet, dense fruit can be used in many ways. Pomegranates historically were usually eaten fresh, although occasionally they were used to make juice or wine or sun-dried to use when the fresh fruit was out of season. They were symbolically important as ornaments on the hem of the robe of the high priest. Olives were a major element in the 7 species. Olive oil was used not only for food and for cooking, but also for lighting sacrificial offerings and for special ointments. Dates were eaten fresh or dried, but were mostly boiled into a thick, long-lasting syrup called date honey or dvash tamarim. Bee honey may have been the type of honey that was referred to in the Bible, but by the time the Talmud was written, honeybees were extinct in Israel, and dates were used in place of honey. The excavation of Tel Rahav shows that beekeeping was practiced in Israel in the early Iron Age, 3,000 years ago, during the time of King David. Now the bees are back in Israel and honey can be produced. Thank you for watching, and from my garden to yours, Chag Sameach. And now, let's get our sukkah built.